witnessing and are a part of. We are in a presidential election year for the United States of America, so it's a big year, but I also feel like we are uncovering stuff still from the 2016 election, getting really strong messages about that election being fraudulent, okay? Getting a lot of messages around evidence around that election being rigged, and more stuff that came up in some kind of discovery within the Mueller investigation that has yet to come to light. There's something about like a secret binder or something like that that keeps coming up. And it's important because if that was a false election, that would be probably the first. Actually, it's not the first one in history because I keep getting Dukakis coming up, and I don't remember who his opponent was, if it was Bush. I don't remember who he was up against. Who was he up against? There's something about Dukakis coming up. So that's come up before. So those are two. I'm also getting Stacey Abrams, and she's come up before too. So, okay, we have 3 fraudulent elections, I guess, that have not been addressed. These are really important for the United States of America. I am getting really strong intelligence in other countries that have evidence of the false election for 2016. That there was notifications to higher levels of intelligence, Pentagon level. I don't know what happened. I am seeing James Comey coming through right now, and that could have been what prompted the investigation into the 2016 election was the intelligence that came through. But I'm seeing hardcore evidence. I'm seeing paperwork, okay? Like I'm seeing deals or some kind of a money deal, money acquisitions or money. I was just randomly looking up Deutsche Bank the other day, and in 2015, they were making claims that they were going to be showing a great loss at the end of the year, a big loss, like $1 billion loss of some sort. They were at the center of this whole investigation, so there could be something there. I'm not positive, but I just find it odd that there were these claims of them not doing well. And then we've seen a lot of things since then. And also, if you guys remember, the Deutsche Bank raid was really huge. I don't remember what year that was, if that was like 2018 or 19 was the raid. But yeah, so there could be something there. I'm hearing messages around the Paradise Papers. I don't know if you guys remember the Paradise Papers, linked to the Panama Papers. So that was all about the offshore bank accounts and monies. And now I'm hearing something about Sweden. So, there is something about this money trail. It's going to keep coming up. I'm also getting messages in regards to U.S. companies, businesses, corporations that are starting to get wind about who Donald Trump really is and that he's not pro-America at all. And that illusion of him not being pro-America is breaking in a way that I don't think a lot of people suspected. I think they suspected he was aligned, with Wall Street capitalism, etc. So again, when you're looking at certain corporations, there might be aligning to some of that, okay, in terms of big money, but I don't know that they actually understood that he was really not for them in terms of making sure that they are profiting in any way or making sure that he really even cares about these businesses. And the only thing that he really cared about was coating his own pockets. I'm also getting that there is money still coming in from Russia through Rupert Murdoch. Okay. So I know that there was these kind of reports that he was losing money and things like that, his assets and everything. But he did just marry a Russian woman. He has a Russian bride. And so I think it's very similar with a lot of them, with Melania and things like that. I think if you start looking at how they operate, they could easily be moving money through marriages, assets, and things like that. So it's something to look at in terms of how they're owning the media right now since Donald Trump is broke, and how we have to watch how they're moving, okay? It's really, really important. I mentioned a big Texas oil deal yesterday, linked to the Bushes. So start paying attention, and that's going to be part of, I think, the people who are on the side of justice are going to have to start really looking at the money, and we're being forced to look at the money, and that might be why my hair is permanently green. But it feels like that's where we have to go right now, is looking at the money. So I think I'll just leave you guys there on those thoughts, but I do feel like a lot of people are going to start waking up to the fact of how compromised Donald Trump is, and that he is not pro-America at all. If anything, he is pro-Russia or pro-Putin, that he is, pro who his owners are, Saudi Arabia. That's who he is pro. He is not for the U.S. in any way. And that illusion will be breaking through. I have the Knight of Cups. So it's going to be breaking through on Wall Street. It's going to be breaking through on every scale. And I feel like the illusion is going to start breaking through for a lot of things. Another thing that keeps coming up is the black cube. The black cubes are all over the big cities, or these big black cubes. I had seen the information around the cube circulating on Instagram. There was a post around it. I remember them showing a little, I think it was like a young Jewish kid with a cube hat. He was wearing like a cube hat. So I'm getting messages that it is linked to more of, I'm not anti-Semitic, so I don't want to put Jewish people in a category, and I don't know what category they even fall in, if they're like Zionists or whatever weird title they're even claiming to be, because at the end of the day, it all feels very culty, okay? I'm not gonna lie. Everything that they do feels culty. So I mean, to put it next to a religion just feels it feels gross, okay? Like I don't want to even put it next to the Jewish religion, but there's an association with people who are Jewish. So we'll just do that, okay? We'll just put it there right now. And there is something about the Cube when I was getting messages in regards to the emergency broadcast system linking all of the wireless phones together, which is very scary, okay, to have us all in one network. I was getting messages that it was linked to the Black Cube, okay, in terms of a network or a system that would be hooked into our phones as a probably like a, I want to say like as a part of their control system, like a step in the direction of a form of a control communication type system in a way. And I don't believe those plans went through, okay? I don't believe that those plans actually went through, but I feel like there was very dark intent behind the plans. And so as far as the Cube goes, I was being guided to kind of clear energies on the Cube, and what I found was an ancient alien linked to the moon when I was cleaning the energy of the Cube, which I thought was so weird. And I was like, what is going on with the moon? So there's something going on with like some type of space technologies and this Black Cube, if you know what I'm talking about. And there's also, I guess, links to this being like, I don't know, some type of a control portal or trapping people in some type of a matrix. I'm not sure about the symbolism of the Cube, but it feels like it's a trap matrix system. I'm not sure if they use some kind of ancient aliens or something that, you know, guides us here energetically, intuitively on a higher level, like a higher frequency, an ancient alien, so to speak. I'm sure there's a Discovery show about it or something, but it's like there is something with them trapping some type of an ancient alien of a very high level or high status, a very high, like almost of a god-like kind of energy, and trapping it in this type of matrix in order to control humanity. I want to just put another point on that because I think that I'm kind of trailing in the right direction with these messages about the control matrix, which could be connected to the portal military system that I have talked about, that is connected to the V2K device that is controlling a lot of top government officials, people who are in power, people who are threats, okay, people that they put on their lists, okay, targeted individuals. I was telling you all that there was an interview recently with Roseanne Barr telling Bill Maher that he was a victim of an MK Ultra program. She said it very candidly. Well, that's the program you're under, Bill. I was also getting messages in regards to someone mentioning Katie Tur, that she seems like she's becoming one of the Stepford wives. I believe anyone that was a threat during the Trump presidency, that guy is very vindictive, he's very catty, and he's very 5-year-old. He will go after every single person who is a threat in terms of truth going out. And that goes for the same for Putina, okay? They are the same freaking child, okay? And Kim Jong-un, they are children, and that's their alignment together. They have a mentality of a 5-year-old, they're petty, they're childish, and they will go to the darkest dark to take out anyone who speaks truth into their illusion, their grand freaking dark illusion of dog shit, okay? And that's what I call it. I call it dog shit. I'll call it trash. I call it out every single day. I call it out for what it really is, you know? It's garbage. And the ideas are dinosaur. But just on that note, I believe everyone has been affected, and I have talked about it before, but I believe Alec Baldwin, he played Trump on SNL, okay, for a long time. And so I felt very strongly that it was a weird coincidence what happened to him on set, because that's how Trump is. He's vindictive as fuck. And, you know, that is the truth. He is dirty. He is the lowest low, that cat. And he will frame, infiltrate, set up. And his whole regime operates that way. He's not acting alone. He is not acting alone. He has his whole, somebody mentioned it the other day on a news story. They called it the mega mafia. Like, his whole mega mafia is the same way. They're all aligned to it. And they go out they're to the death. They are to the death. And that's something that we are all waking up to as well, is how he operates. He's a crime boss. So these are things that are going to start coming to light to more and more people every day. And the more we keep speaking truth into it, it's not going to go away. The messages, the energies, they don't go away. They keep coming up. They're going to keep coming up until we uncover the information. It will keep coming up. They'll try to bury it. It's going to keep coming up. It's going to keep coming up over and over and over again. And so the more we can understand how the enemy operates, the more that we can move, we can prepare. The more that we understand the level of his threats. We understand who he is. We know he's a murderer now. We know that about Donald Trump. He murders people. When he said I could kill any person on the street of Manhattan and no one would touch me, he was not lying. That is somebody telling you. That was probably the only thing he was not lying about, okay? Out of everything that he has said. I know for a fact that man is a murderer, okay? I've witnessed it. I am a victim of his murder crimes. I don't know if that will ever come out, but I am a victim of his murder crimes. He is a murderer, and he does go after everyone. So I would not be surprised if every single person on MSNBC, any host of MSNBC is not a victim of an MK Ultra program just because of how left-wing they are. And I felt very strongly that Rachel Maddow was a victim right away because of everything that happened in her life. Now, people have to understand what MK Ultra is. MK Ultra is a form of breaking into sacred contracts. This is altering your life in a different way. They're working in inner dimensions. These are also military patents that they're accessing, okay? And Donald Trump got access to intelligence he should never have access to. There's intelligence that a 5-year-old baby should never have access to, and Donald Trump had access to it. And he was able to get a lot of information over to Putina, and that has yet to come to light. But I know for a fact that Putina has access to the stuff. Zuckerberg, there are technologies Scientology has that you should not have access to. They do not have the security clearances that they would need to have access to the level of technologies that they have on US soil, and they have them. Now, these technologies, they're neuro patents, okay? They're linked to your mind, and a lot of the access or how they get in to your contracts is through monarch mind control, and that is done through the sex organs. That there is a neuro patent for that. There is I want to say it's an Air Force neuro patent for the sex organs, okay? It's linked to the brain. A lot of people thought they were having a Kundalini awakening. That was a break into the sacred, and that was through one of these patents, okay? And it is a true military patent. So a lot of people don't understand, or like they don't understand what MK Ultra is or what this warfare is, but that's how they break in, is through the sex organs. I don't want to like say how it is on camera, but it's not anything you have any control over. They will also work on you in the dream state. So I went through a series of different MK Ultra programs where they were doing work on me while I was sleeping. They work with Black Ops, they work with warlocks, they work with Russian warlocks, and they do spell work on you while you sleep, and then they have you subconsciously sign contracts while you're sleeping. It's a very dangerous form of warfare, and I know who did it to me. I know the people who did it to me. My spirit team showed me who they are, and they essentially are killing you off in other dimensions. And once they kill you off in other dimensions, that's when they can break into your life. They basically almost end your life physically here, and that's how they gain control over you in the 3D, and they create the new life for you, essentially. So that's just a small breakdown of what some of the MK Ultra programs are. And because I was a victim, I've been researching it for years, but not every victim is aware of it. They don't understand the depths of it, but most victims will suddenly lose people around them, family members that they don't identify with them, and they're part of the break-in as well. I also believe Facebook is part of that warfare because they can access your friends and family in 2 seconds. Again, created by Mark Zuckerberg. Again, part of the harvesting of data for Cambridge Analytica, which also was an influence in the 2016 election. The facts are right in front of us. We have to wake the F up right now in terms of how deadly the psychological warfare is. Russia, they specialize in this type of dark warfare, okay? They specialize in spiritual warfare. Who else specializes in it? Scientology. They are the church of spiritual technology. They specialize in spiritual warfare. The founder of Scientology, one of the founders, is former CIA. They operate as if they are CIA. They operate as if they are US CIA, Scientology. Start looking at all of the people who are acting like this. I mean, we can see who really specializes in this type of warfare very easily. Bill Gates is one of them with his DNA database, his recent cloud. The stuff that he has come up with in terms of spy bots, voice bots, that's how they hear us now. They have voice bots. If you say one word, there are bots that'll come in, spy bots will come in. They could be like robot bots, but they can signal somebody at that company to listen to you. The level of their technology at this rate, it depending on how targeted you are or where you're at or how much influence you have, is pretty powerful. The privacy doesn't exist anymore, and it has not been addressed to the degree or level it should have been by our Justice Department, by the FBI, by anyone, okay? It has been masked over, and that's how you know who's not really for the light. They're in fear. If they can't come through and tell the truth right now, they live out of fear. Those people should not be in those powerful positions because they're inept, okay? They are not cut out for them. If they cannot speak truth, people who are holding these high-level positions globally can't talk about the truth of what's really going on right now. There's a reason for it. And that's something we also have to shine a light on, is the people in power. If you can't have a voice and say this, if you can't say this on a podium in front of these people because you're scared to lose your life, there's a freaking problem, okay? There's a huge freaking problem. And it needs to be addressed. If it's a security issue, fine, then we address the security issue. If it is that you're afraid of something else, we can't have cowards in power anymore. And it just seems like they are everywhere right now, intentionally. It feels like we do not have the people with the voices and the strength to freaking speak to it and address the country in a way that freaking makes sense, okay? And doesn't freaking glamorize a terrorist like Donald Trump. The fact that we can't speak truth about anything and on our soil shows a level of weakness in our in positions of power. I mean, it just shows at the very top of our country, we do not have the people. Now, President Joe Biden calls them out every day. He calls out Kim Jong-un. He calls out Putin. He calls them out. But in terms of the other people, they are not doing that. They are not doing that at the level that they should be. They should not be normalizing this administration in any way. They should be not normalizing chipping humans at workplaces. They should not be normalizing AI that is infiltrating our biology. They should not be normalizing biometrics and having cameras identify us through our eyes. They should not be normalizing that stuff. Those are soul contracts. Biometrics is very dangerous. They're not telling you that in the news media because it's all paid for and bought for by Russia, okay? Every single thing that is out there is an illusion right now. And a lot of people are not getting the truth. They're not getting the true freaking messages. And now I say that in terms of bought media, in terms of what is going out. The news stories every day are around Trump, okay? They're fear-based. They're always about the weapons and on the big deals that are going through. It is never about the other story that is going on. It is never, ever letting people feel good, making them feel like we're moving in the right direction. There's no stories that are saying that justice is being done. There are no stories of anything happening to people who have committed like heinous crimes that are connected to his base. There is nothing going out in terms of mainstream media that is talking about the money that is going on with him and where he's getting his money from, the bought media. And there's not enough of that going out. His base should not be his base right now. They should have truth. They should have facts. We are on U.S. soil. What is going on? That is a form of psychological warfare. That is a form of psyops. They should not have QAnon chat groups going on right now. They should not be having their pizza parlor meetups, okay? Like, everything has to be shut down in terms of their propaganda train. It is dangerous. It is deadly. It is a weapon. And until we start addressing it as a weapon, then we're not going to be able to move forward in alignment with one another. Now, in terms of these chat rooms, this is how they rally. Okay, this is how they rally. Okay, I don't know what the chat rooms look like before the insurrection, but I would love to know what their freaking chat rooms look like in terms of how they were communicating and what they were communicating through. Now, Parler is the communication for the insurrection, but that is how they operate. They all get the same log lines. The right-wing media, they have the same script lines, the same dialogue. They have the same everything, and this is how they all get the messages in terms of what they're supposed to speak to. And this is how it makes it look to his base like it's going out in an organized fashion. Okay, and this is part of the illusion that we have to break through, is how these messages are going out, and then his base repeats back everything they're reading in the right-wing media, okay, or whatever's coming in through their freaking chat rooms. So those are the things that we really need to figure out. I actually stumbled upon one of their dark coded chat rooms. They speak in code, these techies, and I actually accidentally went into one because I saw that someone had opened up my MailChimp, and I got like a really bad feeling about it. So I looked up the email address, and I ended up in one of these terrorist chat rooms, and they're freaking terrifying and they're scary. And there were thousands of people in this freaking chat room. And that's how they work. That's how they work. They communicate through codes, and they have these like little dark chat rooms. And that's how they carry out their dark agendas. And so we have to get a hold on how they're doing that, how they're carrying out all of this dark regime. There's been a lot of fires lately. I've been saying that. A lot of weird things, bridges collapsing, train derailments, Blackhawks just suddenly crashing into each other. This stuff's not normal. I feel it's obvious, what he is doing, what he is here for. He is a terrorist. His base or his groups around him are carrying out terrorism. And everything he is connected to is dark. Everything that he's connected to is dark. I feel like I'm being watched and listened right now, and I shouldn't probably say anymore. But anyways, I'm wishing you guys the best. I'll leave